Hello.
All right. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Lori Riddle.
And where do you work?
I teach at Dallastown High School in Dallastown, Pennsylvania.
What do you teach?
I teach 9th grade general science.
I'm going to ask you about multiple intelligences and how you use them in your classroom. How do you survey your students to find their strength or their strongest multiple intelligence? Do you use quizzes, one-on-one conversation, or do you just assess the students as they work?
In my classroom, I do a beginning of the year survey and I ask the students what is their best way to learn, and then I try to incorporate that throughout the year and give them the opportunity to use that skill a couple of times during the learning environment. And at Dallastown, we also do a multiple intelligence survey in our gym classes. The students take a multiple intelligence quiz and then they report back to each of their classes what their multiple intelligence strong point is, whether it's kinesthetic, visual, or auditory.
How do you use these strengths and areas of improvement in your lessons?
I try to give them a couple times during the year the opportunity to present information in different ways. We just did a project and I allowed them to present the project in a way that suited them best. For example, they could present it in a PowerPoint, Prezi. I always let them know that they can do it in a song, dance, or rap, which of course gives the visual and the auditory students a chance to present it in a little bit different environment than usual. Also during tests, I try to offer different ways to answer questions, essay, math type tests or math type questions, so that it's not just one test taking skills, so that the students get an opportunity to work with their strength.
How do you use these strengths and areas of improvement in group work? Like, do you try to pair them with people that have similar strengths according to your survey, or do you just let them pick?
I do both during the school year. The beginning of the school year, I try to pair them based on the strengths. I look at the start of the year assessments that I do, and I try to pair them up based on the students that I feel would work best together as the school year develops. And I get the feedback from the phys ed multiple intelligence. I tend to evolve that a little bit. I use the MI feedback and I pair them a little bit differently than the first day surveys that I use, and then I do let them interact a little bit more on their own within reason, as long as they're productive throughout the year.
Do you think students should work with students that have similar strengths or different strengths?
I think depending on the project, I see an advantage to working both ways. Sometimes I do let the students work with students who are like-minded, but I do also, when we do jigsaw activities in class, I do try to pair them with students who have different multiple intelligences, because with the jigsaw activity, they're really working on teaching each other with different learning skills. So I think it helps to have everybody with a little bit different strength within that group.
Do you see students being more successful in smaller or larger groups?
I like students working in a little bit of a smaller group to be more successful. I think they can kind of utilize their strengths a little bit more individually. I think the larger the group gets, the more lost individual students can get in that group, with the stronger students, the stronger personalities tending to take over a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any suggestions for a new teacher about how to use MIs?
I would probably suggest for a new teacher that you don't use the multiple intelligences that break it down into 7 or 8 different multiple intelligence groups. I would probably stick with just the 3 and try to break your kids into just auditory, visual, and kinesthetic. I think if you try to break it down too much further than that, I think you'll feel a little bit too overwhelmed. So I think if you just start small, I think that's definitely something that you can work into your classroom pretty easily.
And then what is your suggested method to survey students?
I think there's a lot of different methods out there. If you look online or probably even throughout your coursework in college. There are a lot of surveys that you can do, paper surveys that are pretty quick and easy. I'm sure online there are surveys that you can do that'll tally your results pretty easily. I think the one that we use in our high school is just a quick paper survey that the kids go through and tally up, and then they present the results to the whole school rather than have the students take a test in all 8 classes. We just do it once and have them share the results with all of the courses. So that might be even something that as you become a new teacher, if your high school or your school that you're working in isn't doing, maybe you want to bring to administration and suggest that they do as a whole, or make sure that they're not already doing it in another classroom, rather than having the students do the same type of test over and over again.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome.